Hey folks, I'm gonna do a playthrough of Company of Heroes, the board game today. This is a solo playthrough, which, as from my standpoint as the player, the rules will basically be the same as are in a normal game, and then the AI that plays the other side obviously has uh, ways to make decisions and whatnot through a card-based system. But if you're looking for how a two-player game would go, it would just be two people doing the same thing that I'm going to be doing for my side. Um, Probably do a brief rules run through, just kind of overview everything real quick, but not really do any kind of diving into specific scenarios or specific circumstances for various things. We can address that as we come across them. What I have set up here is and I'm going to butcher this name, Trawpon, I think. Trawpon map. This is the recommended map to play for your first few games until you get used to the rules. You can see there's plenty of buildings. I have all the terrain, or I have both terrain packs because I did it all in Kickstarter. So these plastic buildings do not come with the base game. If you're just going to buy the base game, you'll see there's just outlines of buildings on the map is what you would normally use. Um, Outside of that, the base game does not come with the solo rules. That is an expansion that comes with solo and co-op rules, so you can play solo, one versus the AI, or you could play two players on the same team versus two AIs, or I guess it's one AI technically. So to get started, I'm going to run through the dashboard. So I've chosen to play as the allies. I've chose to play as the United States. Let me get this other camera up here. Okay, so here's the dashboard you have. Each player will have this dashboard in front of them. It is a hard plastic dual layer, so it sits the cubes in there nicely, holds them in place. What you see up in the top left where it says incomes, that is essentially when you go into the supply phase, that is how much of each resource you are going to get. These are all the starting values, so if you were playing with multiple people, everybody starts with this exact same setup, so they're on even terms. It's at least for this map. Some of the other maps may have, if a different side starting with different resources. I have not looked through the scenario book that deeply to see if there's a difference. Below that, you will see the stockpiles. This is how much of each resource you currently have. There is a hard cap at 9. You have the. I wish I would have looked up what those are called. The different resource names. You have manpower, which is the yellow fist. You have fuel, which is the green gas tank, and then you have munitions, which is the red with the bullets there, and then the star, which is currently covered up at the level 0 on both sides or both sections, is the victory points. So those are the starting values. In the bottom right is where you will place experience. Now I'm going to attempt to play with the advanced rules, which include experience. They recommend that when your first couple games you play with the base rules minus the commander card, which you'll see right there in the top right, and also without experience. So then after a couple games, they recommend that you add the commander cards and the experience into the mix, and then after a couple more games, add the advanced rules, and then you should be good to fully immerse yourself in the game. I am ignoring that advice and just diving right into the advanced rules because I don't think they're overly complex or overly advanced. It's a lot of things that make sense, like firing arcs, and heavy vehicles have heavier armor up front than they do, on the sides and the rear, that type of thing. So if you're used to war games, or at least somewhat used to war games, you're gonna kind of those quote unquote advanced rules are just gonna not you're just gonna fall right in line with them. But if you're used to like playing Memoir, and that's your only experience in war games, or that type of games with mechanized units and infantry and stuff, you're not going to be used to any of those concepts. So we're going to try the advanced rules and see how that goes. I have elected to use the Ranger Company commander card, and there are 4 different levels. I basically have to purchase each level with experience. The cost is in the upper left of each level. The first 2 are 1 experience apiece. This third one is 2 experience points to purchase it, and then the last one is 3 experience. And they each give different abilities, and it just adds another level of customization. There are several commander cards for each, or command cards. I keep calling them commander cards, but they might be just command cards for each faction. And then there is one that like anybody can play with that is veteran, some type of veteran units. I can't remember it at the moment. But anyways, that's that. As I move my income, I'll put this back over here once at the end of the supply phase to kind of show how that works through. Now, in addition, we have these headquarters cards. There's 3 of them. There are. This is the first card. This starts, face up. So these are the units you have the ability. These are the building cards. Sorry, is what they're called, I believe. So this is the first one. It starts face up. These are the 3 units you have available to you at the beginning of the game. In order to unlock further the ability to build further units, you have to unlock the other or the building cards, and I'll show you those 2 here in a second. But you'll see we have 2 infantry units that'll be green. That indicates that it's an infantry unit. The health is how many units or how many figures show up in the bases when you put them out onto the board. It's also their health. So they can take, essentially 4 hits, and then that unit's wiped out. You'll see the range is 2. Every vehicle or every unit has a base range of 2. Some obviously have farther, or can at range of more than 2. You will see that their attack that they're going to do is a infantry attack. As they say in the book, it's an anti-infantry attack. It has a bonus of a wrench, or repair. Basically, what this means is any adjacent vehicles will repair 1 point of damage during the supply phase, if they are next to this rifleman. It costs 4 of the manpower to build this unit. And then there are 2 upgrades. So I can spend 2 experience and then add either a anti-tank, or no, it's called armor piercing, AP, armor piercing attack, or a second anti-infantry attack. And now what, or, sorry, either one of those. But I only upgrade 1 unit. This does not upgrade all of my riflemen. I would pick 1 unit and say, okay, I'm going to upgrade that unit and give it an armor piercing attack, and then only that specific unit on the board would have that additional attack. I could also do a munitions upgrade for 4 munitions. Spend that, and I basically add the same thing, one or the other. I believe and let me look, that a unit can only have one upgrade on it at a time. Or maybe it can only be used once, so I can't spend multiple experience upgrades to add. So I can't spend 4 experience and add 2 armor-piercing attacks, I believe. But I could spend 2 experience to add the armor-piercing attack, and then 4 munitions to add a second armor-piercing attack. I believe is how that works. Let me double check that real quick. Supply phase, purchase upgrades. Upgrades only affect a single unit. Yes, we discussed that. Each unit can purchase each of their upgrades once. So, yes. So there could be 2 armor piercings, but I couldn't spend 4 experience to get it. I'd have to spend 2 experience and then the 4 munitions to get that. Then we also have the mortar team. This symbol down here with the basically is the not deployed symbol. So this is one of the advanced rules. So these special weapons teams, mortars, machine guns, the anti-tank artillery, that type of stuff, all starts not deployed. You essentially have to spend a command point to deploy it. If you play the base game, you do not. It's just always deployed. So that's one of those advanced rules that it's common sense in my opinion, but I can see why they would pull it out to make it a more have you learn the game quickly, I guess. But they only have 3 health, so they will get 3 figures. They will also get a mortar, an actual mortar figure that will go in here, but it does not count for health. So only the guys count as health. You can see it here. It has 4 range. But it cannot. The first one is grayed out, so it cannot hit it cannot hit adjacent hexes. It obviously you're firing a mortar. You're not going to fire it right in front of you. It will do HE damage, high explosive damage, and then there are advanced rules for this that we will use where we roll dice, and it can miss, it can hit and damage 1, or it can crit and damage 2. It costs 4 manpower to build. Also has 2 upgrades, 1 experience. We'll add a second HE attack or damage. And then for 4 munitions, I can give it a speed boost, which basically gives it a free movement each turn. And then we have the Willys Jeep. This is a light vehicle denoted by yellow in the background of the health. It is 2 health. It is a range of 2. It will do 1 anti-infantry attack. It has a free movement. It has the speed upgrade. It costs 2 manpower and 2 fuel. And it does have 1 upgrade where it can... No, it does not have an upgrade. It just always has this. It will heal. So adjacent allied units can reinforce. But this unit cannot be used to capture points. So I can't just have this unit on a control point and capture it. But it will reinforce a unit, or reinforce units during the supply phase. And what that means is any infantry unit adjacent to this will get 1 damage, or 1 guy returned if they are damaged. So it kind of heals them up a little bit. So that's that one. So that one starts face up. There's also on the back, kind of goes over your basic, your types of units essentially and their maneuvers. But we'll get into that more. So here's the building card number 2. Has a brief round sequence of what we're going to go through: maneuver phase, damage phase, supply phase. Then this is a cost for me to flip this over to be able to build the units on this other side. So I'd have to spend 1 manpower and 3 fuel. And then this is the 3rd card, building card. It has the defense matrix on the back of it. This is essentially if I am a green, if an infantry unit, I'm green, and I'm attacking a tank. A tank attacks me. The shield means I will re-roll those damage dice. I can defend against that, so I'll get a defense roll against it. If another infantry attacks me, I just eat it. A dash means I just taken the damage because infantry against infantry. If for a light vehicle, if an infantry attacks a light vehicle, that light vehicle can re-roll the damage it's going to get, or a defense roll, I guess. It basically re-rolls it, and it could avoid it. Same thing with a high explosive damage. It'll be able to re-roll that. It will not be able to re-roll damage from tanks or heavy vehicles, and it will not be able to re-roll any damage from fire. Nothing can really re-roll any damage from fire. The only thing that is fully protected from it is the heavy vehicles. Same with the not symbol. Infantry can attack heavy vehicles by themselves unless they have a armor-piercing attack, which they will be able to do. So this is the attack type. This is not necessarily what's attacking. I kind of should have clarified that. So if you're doing anti-infantry damage, it's not going to do anything to a tank. Armor-piercing damage, there's a gray shield here with an asterisk. So basically, if you're playing the base game, you get the defense roll. If you are playing with the advanced rules, you get the defense roll if they are attacking you from the front. But if they are attacking you from the sides or behind, I believe you do not get it. And I am just double checking that once more. Defense roll for each point of armor-piercing damage originated in their frontal arc. Right. They do not receive those defense rolls from the sides or the rear. So only if you're attacking them straight on or within their forward firing arc, which basically is, it's not a full 180 degrees, but it's pretty close. They'll be able to re-roll those, or they won't if it's not in that arc. The purple are emplacements, so that's going to be things like you can build sandbags, that type of stuff out here. Anti-tank emplacements or traps, I think is what they're called, tank traps. Razor wire, that type of stuff. That's all these. Or some, I think the British units can actually deploy certain special emplacements for them at various locations. Basically, it's taking any damage right out except from the anti-infantry, which it can reroll. And then buildings, the only thing that really damages them is the high explosive and the fire. If you play the base rules, buildings are indestructible. But again, the advanced rule, that's just something that kind of makes sense to me, that if you're attacking a building you throw high explosive, or ammo or round at the building, it's going to actually do damage to it. Now there are two, so the United States is one of the factions. There is another one, I think it might be the British, that can skip tier 2, the tier 2 card, and just go straight to the tier 3. And so instead of paying the 2 manpower and the 5 the 5 fuel, why can I think of that? You just pay the 2 manpower and 6 fuel, and you can skip over flipping your second building card and just go right for the third one. Now, I guess I could throw this one back up here for the round. So here's basically the round sequence. A round is all 3 of these, and then the maneuver phase will have turns. So the maneuver phase, each side takes turns. There are 3 turns per side per maneuver phase. So each turn, you're going to have 3 command points to spend, and they're going to be designated by a color cube. I have chosen red because I think it's going to be easier to see out here on the board, even though normally I would be yellow. And then the AI is black or blue. I can't tell what that color is. I guess it's black, to put out there. And basically, you will spend a command point to maneuver, to move around. And it's one command point to move into a hex, one command point to move into a building. If you move into a building, you can't move out of it on the same round. So I can't enter here and then leave. I would have to, once I get in, the same turn. I can later leave the building. Yes. Sorry, I got that wrong. You can't enter a building and then leave it on the same turn. So we'll place 3 command points out. We'll move 3 command points worth of units. And then the AI, normally the other player would do the same, and then back to me, I would do 3 more. Then the other player would do their 3, or up to 3, and then back to me for the final third round. So you're basically spending 9 command points per round, or per maneuver phase, which is a round. But you're only spending 3 per turn. So basically, it's going to be a command point to move. You'll see out here on the board. Oh, you can't see any of that. Let me turn that camera off. So you'll see out here on the board, you can see that there's a green gas can. So this is a control point. Here's just a victory point control point. Here is a manpower control point. So I want to get guys here. In order to capture this stuff, you have to have an infantry unit or a unit that has a specific symbol where they can capture points. And I was mistaken on that Willys Jeep. I just looked at it. They have that symbol there. So the Willys Jeep can capture a control point. I mistakenly read that wrong. So those are all over the map. There's one there. There's a munitions one here. So that's how you're going to increase your incomes for the status phase, and then get your stockpiles up to be able to produce stuff. So we do those 3 turns of 3 command points each. Let me flip that back on. Three turns of 3 command points each. Then we go to the damage phase. In the damage phase, you're essentially going to check for pinned units. If you have a machine gun team out here, they can pin all infantry units in their firing arc. We'll get to that as I'm sure we'll run across it. But if anybody is not pinned at the start of the damage phase, if they are in the machine gunner's firing arc, they will be pinned. That basically means they can't do anything but roll defense dice. They can't attack, they can't move, etc. Until either they become unpinned by that machine gun group moving, or being destroyed, or retreating, or something of that nature. You cannot be pinned if you are in a building, and you cannot pin other machine gun groups. Then you will assign damage. So for each of your damage type that you can do, you will choose a target and assign all of your damage to that target. So you can't split up damage unless you are a heavy vehicle and you have turreted and non-turreted attacks. Then you will roll defense dice. So we go back to that matrix, and if you can defend against that type of damage, you will re-roll those dice, and on certain results you will block it. On certain results you will still receive that damage. Then you inflict the remaining damage. You collect experience and victory for destroyed units. So basically, the first time you attack a unit and do damage to it, when it would take damage from your attack. So if you attack something, if you attack a tank with anti-infantry, and somehow through some crazy ability that you have on your command card or something, it actually damages it, but not from that anti-infantry attack, you would not get that experience. You would not get an experience point for that. But if you attack an infantry with anti-infantry and you damage it, you get an experience point for that, even if you don't kill it. You only do that the first successful, essentially, damage attack you do per round. So you're not going to get it. You're not going to get an experience point for each thing you attack. Just the first one that you successfully do damage to, and then you get an experience point for each one you kill. So if you kill, so the first unit you kill, you're going to get 2 experience, 1 for damage, 1 for killing it. If you kill 2, you're going to get 1 for damaging the first one, 1 for killing the first one, and 1 for killing the third one. So you'll get 3, or the second one, you'll get 3 experience points. Then we move on to the supply phase. So this damage phase is resolved essentially simultaneously, but you usually, whoever goes first in the round, it gets to do their damage phase first, and then the other side gets to do theirs. Then we move on to the supply phase where we capture control points. So if we have guys here, I could capture this and take control of it. Then I would adjust income, or both sides would adjust income. Then you, based off your new income, you add that to your stockpiles, and then you can purchase units or upgrades to your units. They would come out at your spawn point. And my spawn point is here. My reinforcement point is actually right here. I didn't want to zoom this map out too much, but whenever I spawn guys, they're going to spawn in this hex or one of these hexes that are adjacent to it that are against the map edge here. I obviously can't spawn in the water, so I'd have to spawn here. So it'd be here, 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 or here. The other side over there, you can see those black circles up there. So I will go over the solo component here next, but those are those starting units for them. They don't actually use the armies and miniatures and stuff. They have their own guys over there that are specific to them. So we will go ahead and move on to a brief rundown of the solo play. I have chosen to attack or to play against the feeble commander. Seemed like a good starting point. This is essentially a round tracker, so it's going to move from left to right and then down the rows. And if I don't get 10 victory points by the time I get to round number 9, or the end of round number 9, is it the end or is it the... That's a good question. Do we play through round 9 or do we not? Let's look here. One moment, please. If the marker on the AI commander card has reached the defeat star, then the players have lost. So that happens at the supply phase. So yes, so at the end of the 9th, well, at the end of the 8th round, because it would move here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds to get 10 victory points. Before I lose, essentially. And I only gather victory points from capturing units, if I recall correctly. I'm just going back and reading that real quick. Target selection players. Players do not gain victory points for killing AI units, only for controlling victory objective points. Okay. Yep. So I gotta control victory. I gotta control victory point control points. So there's one here. There is one here. And there's probably one on this side of the board somewhere. Somewhere. Hidden behind one of these buildings, maybe? Are there really just 2? I guess so. So I've got to get there and hold that. And oh no, there's one right here. It's hard to see. So there are 3. Okay. And that Oh, you guys can't even see that. Sorry. There's one here, there's one here, and there's one here. They're control point markers. They have a star up in the top of the hex. So I need to take those and hold them for many, many rounds. Back to here. This indicates what essentially 2 green units spawned at the beginning of the game, and then I'll take a cube and I'll put that over top of it to indicate we're starting round 1. That's what those 2 black discs, or they were actually green discs, up in the top right of the map, which we'll switch back to here in a moment. They remain hidden. And then they only get flipped over when I gain sight of them. So all units have a sight of 2 hexes, but some units can actually fire farther than 2 hexes. They will need, in order to hit something farther away than a unit can see, they will need to have a spotter, and basically any allied unit can spot for any other allied unit. So that's how that would work. So basically, I would have to come within 2 hexes of one of those discs in order for it to flip over to see what's actually there. I don't know. And then we go to round 2. A yellow one spawns, then a blue one, then a yellow and a green one. When we get to here, to the red bordered ones, I actually switch to a different action deck that makes things, I think it just probably progresses things a little bit more. It also, I go from phase 1 to phase 2, so phase 1's white, phase 2's red. So in phase 1, the AI is using 3 command points per turn, just like I stated earlier. But when we get to phase 2 in the red, they will actually use 4 command points per turn to make it more challenging. But again, this is easy, so this should be a cakewalk, right? Right. So let's pull this back. And so here's the target selection. So basically, if a unit is going to be doing anti-infantry, it will first try to attack infantry, then light, then emplacements, and then heavy vehicles. If it's going to be doing an armor piercing, it'll try to attack a heavy vehicle first, then a light vehicle, then an emplacement, and then lastly a infantry. So that's sort of how the damage types go, and then the priority. So when it's attacking, it'll choose the closest to a victory point to attack first. Then it'll go to the one that has the lowest health. This doesn't have to mean the one that is damaged the most. So if I have 2. If I have a mortar team and an infantry team and they're both at 4 health, the infantry or the mortar team still only has 3 health versus the infantry team's 4 health. So it'll target the mortar team, and then it always goes to reading order. And this is in the rulebook a lot. Reading order means right to left, top to bottom. So you would basically go to the top hex and start top or left to right on the top row, and then come down to the next row, and just that's how they would choose their target if it doesn't meet the other ones there. And then I will flip over. I will show these other cards here for the AI instruction cards, and there's a deck. So we have there's a stack of these AI instruction cards that we flip over. It's going to tell us what to do for the AI, and then there's phase 1 action deck, and that's going to tell us kind of what they're going to do for their actions. So I think that's about it, and I'm ready to start. Flip this back over here. See if I'm missing it. Missing anything. Don't believe so. Alright. Actually, those instruction cards don't need to be face down, because they'll... The action deck is going to tell me which of the instruction cards to use. And there'll be most likely 3 icons there, and then I have to go find those cards. So we can go right through that. We talked about reading order. There's plenty of examples in this rule book, in these rule books, so that's very nice. The examples weren't overly complicated, but that's okay. There are some, well, we'll go over that when we get to it. The blue units are not out there. Blue units can essentially attack 4 hexes away. They're basically going to be mortar teams for the most part, I think. And they do not have to hit line of sight. Facing, some units do have facing of the discs for the AI does have some facing stuff, but they basically they face whenever they move. We'll go over movement for heavy vehicles if we get to that point. And I think that's it. Sorry, I'm just looking through the last few things here. I think there's 2 units spawned immediately. You will need to spawn the first group on the map before starting the game. Okay. Alright, I think we're good to go there. There are also events in some of those circles, or some of those tokens that are listed on the back of the book, or the solo rule book, but we'll get to that in a moment. So one other thing I want to touch on real quick is, so these buildings, there's a green border around the hex on the buildings. There's a green border here along, or no, that's yellow, sorry, it's just the way it looks in this light. There's a green border around that tree, it looks like, or at least from there to there to there. Yep, so green borders are heavy cover. Heavy cover gives you 2 defense rolls out of the gate. Yellow lines, and it's kind of hard for you guys. Here's one. You guys can see that really well there. Yellow lines will give you light cover, which is 1 defense roll guaranteed. So there's a yellow line here and there's a yellow line here. They do not add together. It's still just 1 if it crosses. Same thing if you're shooting, if somebody's here and they're shooting across this yellow line and then this green line, you only get 2 defense rolls for the building. You don't get, a light cover because you're not technically in this hex behind this light cover. I think that's it. I think there are special rules for these buildings where you can hide, like if you put a unit in it, you can hide the unit inside the building. They're hollow. And then if you're playing against another player, that's more like subterfuge for them. They're going to have to remember what unit you put in there, etc. But I'm not going to play that way with the AI because it's not really going to matter. All right, so we'll start with phase 1, maneuver phase. Players always start first with the solo rules. So I have my 3 command points, and what I will do is I will take, you're supposed to put a command point in each hex as you move. You're supposed to move those command points with your unit that you're moving, just to sort of keep track of it. So what I will do is I have 3 of these, so I'm going to move this guy here. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. And so I will leave those 3 there with him. So I know that he's used 3 command points this round. Now, can he use more the round after that? That's my question. That's my question. Turn order maneuver. Three command points so it cannot move anymore this round. There are 3 turns in the maneuver phase. Okay. So it moved that unit moved has 3 command points assigned to it, so it cannot have any more command points assigned to it this round. So this was 1 turn for me. So now we go to the AI who's over there in the corner, and the first thing we do is we flip over an AI instruction card, and it is the green victory point. So this gives us instructions on how to, I flip over a Phase 1 action deck card. This tells us what we're going to do on this guy's turn. So first, there are no yellow units or blue units out there yet. Where'd my pencil go? There it is. There's no yellow or blue units out on the board yet. He only has the dark greens out there. So nothing's going to take effect for these. So he's only going to take this one here, and you resolve this card top to bottom. So we look for that symbol in this instruction deck of cards. And actually, I think it's the one we did flip over. It's the green victory point card. So we'll just slide this over here, and there's our green victory point. And there's 2 steps. So we look for the green unit not on a control point. So that's either one of those that are up there. I'll flip back to the board here in a moment. And the priorities are, we're going to go for the green unit that is the closest to a victory point, control point, or if there's none, if they're equidistant, or there's always going to be one. If they're equidistant, then we go in reading order. So flipping back over here, there is a victory point here, and there's a victory point here. The other victory point's way over there. This is the closest one. So the closest one of these 2 guys to this, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're both 4, so they're both equidistant to this victory point. So then we go to priority 2, which was reading order. So we start up here in the top hex, and we go all the way across. And the first one we come to is this one. So this is going to be the green unit that we're going to be using, or that we're going to be activating, I guess. Then we have what it does. It moves towards the nearest victory point. Priorities, an AI controlled victory point, so it will move to sort of reinforce itself, or victory points in reading order. Or victory point places it in. So it's going to move to this one. There's no AI controlled ones. If there were 2 victory point that were equidistant to that guy, and one was controlled by his team, he would move towards that one versus the one not controlled by him. You can't even see that. If there were 2 victory point tiles equidistant, so if there was another one here, and his guy controlled this one, he would move towards this one instead of this one. But he's going to move toward in reading order, so it's basically going to be this one since it's the closest one. And he's going to spend, he has his 3 command tokens, so he's going to spend the same 3. He'll go 1, 2, 3, and he will be right there. And we'll put his 3 action cubes there. So he's moved 3 there, and now it's back to me. I have 3 more cubes to spend. Up to 3. I don't have to spend all 3, but I think I want to, but do I want to get that victory point? 3. I can't get there, though. I can get to that one. The other thing I can do, I can move 2. So what I'll do is I'll do here, move these guys up to here, so I can capture this fuel. So there's 2, and I'm not going to use my 3rd command point this turn. And then it goes back to him. He has 3 move points again. We'll flip over another action deck card here. So if there was a yellow unit, we would do that one first. Then we would do the green unit. Then we would do the blue unit. Now there's no yellow unit or blue, so neither of those are going to happen, but the green one is going to. So we'll slide that over and look for that instruction card. It looks like it's the star. And it is, that's the same one we just did, the green victory point. So the same thing. Now, that one has already moved 3, so it cannot move again, I believe, unless there are special rules that say it can ignore that. Let me double check. I don't think there are. I think that still applies to it. Yeah, action cards. Yep. First section, second section. Yep, that's it. So it can't move that guy anymore. So it'll move the other one. And same thing, it's going to move essentially, it'll probably go 1, 2, 3 around that building. And it's going to try to capture that victory point. Now it would be back to me. I technically have 3 more command points I can spend. I could spend another command point on this one because it only had... Oops, sorry. He moved around that building. You couldn't see that. I got to get better with moving that camera. All three command points are there. He moved around this building this way because it was using the same green victory point instruction. So now it's back to me. This would be my 3rd turn in the maneuver phase, which will be the last one. I have 3 more command points that I can spend, but I can't spend any more on here because this guy already has 3. I could spend 1 here to maneuver him 1 more, but I want him to stay here to capture this fuel command point. So I'm not going to spend any 3. I'm just going to keep those like that. And I'm going to then, goes back to the AI. And the AI, draw a card, and recon and force. Does this, wait a minute now. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Let me look. Does he do that every single time? This turn. Yep. So I draw one of those each turn. So there's no yellow, there's no blue, but there is the green. That's the victory point one again. So the same thing. And what we'll do is we'll take the closest one. They're both equidistant to this point here. They're both equidistant to this victory point. So then we go into reading order, which is, again, top to bottom, left to right. So we'll eventually hit this one first. So he will spend, or no, he can't. He's moved all 3. That's right. So he can't do anything else this turn. Neither of them can. They both have all 3 added to them. So that is that. So that's the end of the maneuver phase. And we move on to the damage phase. Check for pinned units. If there are any machine gun guys out here, they could pin units now. They don't. There are none. Then we assign damage. None of these guys can hit anybody else at the moment. So there's nothing for that. There's no defense die roll. There's no inflict remaining damage. There's no collect experience and victory points for destroyed units. Now we move to the supply phase. We capture control points. So I've got 2 control points here. I've got a manpower here, and I'm just going to do red for me since I have red guys. So I'll put this is the flag staff, or the control token from Terrain Pack 1. So this does not come with the game. This is a 3D miniature. Otherwise, it would just be a cardboard token. And then I've also captured this this one over here, because infantry can capture control points. I do not believe that I have to stay in there, but that is going to be a question that comes up momentarily, because I'm going to want to move out of there. So, capture objectives. Any green unit or any unit that has a capture ability. Nope, looks like I can move the guys. I don't lose them if I don't capture them, or I don't lose them if I move a guy out. So, now we adjust incomes. So my manpower there went up by 1. Let me get my thing over here so you guys can see this. So my manpower has gone up by 1 because I captured 1. So I will move that up 1. And then my fuel has also gone up 1 because I captured that. So I'll move it up to 2. So that's my income. Now I collect stockpiles. So I will get 2 manpower. So I'll move this up to 2, or up to 6. I will get only 1 munitions, so that'll go to 5. And then I will get 2 fuel. That puts me up to 6. And I get no victory points, so I don't move my victory points. And then we purchase units and upgrades. Now, the other guys aren't going to, he's not going to purchase or upgrade anything, I don't believe. Or he doesn't have anything to purchase or upgrade, but he might do something crazy. So let's look at that real quick to make sure he's not going to do supply phase. Right, he just spawns units. Okay. Alright, so first I can purchase units. Let's see here. I think I want to purchase a Willys Jeep. So, get one of these miniatures out here. And one of these vehicle trays here. And he will spawn right here. He will cost me 2 manpower and 2 fuel. So the 2 that I gained. Now I can also upgrade what would I want to upgrade? I don't have any experience, so I can't do that yet. I could purchase more guys. I mean, I could put a bunch more guys out there. Well, I could put 1 more infantry. No, I could put more Willys Jeeps out there. I need to capture those points. I need to rush up there and capture those points. I'm going to do the Willys Jeeps. I'm going to spend 2 more. I'm going to spend Yeah, just 2 more. Just for 1 more Willie's Jeep. And we'll put him there. All right, these cubes can all come off because these guys have all moved. Same with over here. I'm not going to upgrade anybody. I just put my Jeeps out there. But now, at the end of the round, so we had the orange cube here. Orange cube's going to move over here, and we're going to spawn 1 yellow unit. So I'll grab a yellow unit off the top of this stack, and it will spawn right there, the reinforcement point. And now we move on to another round. So that ends the round, and we go back to maneuver phase. So I'm back to having 3 things to spend. What we'll do is we'll move these guys 2, so we'll go 1, 2, capture that point, keep my red, so I move those 2, and I have 1 left I can spend, and I might spend it, I forgot these Jeeps have that fast ability. So status dice out here, so they can they get a free movement essentially. Well, I won't put it out there yet. I'll just use it when I use it. But we'll choose to do this Jeep, and this Jeep will get a free movement of 1. So I'll put his free movement dice out there, and then I'll move him second one there. So now he's moved. I've spent my 3 command points. I've spent 2 here, I've spent 1 here, and then the free move for the dice, or for his speed ability. So that's the 3, and now we go to the solo, or the AI guy here. So we'll flip a card, and first thing we're going to do is yellow circle. He does have a yellow guy out there now, so let's look for that one. This is yellow control point. So a yellow unit that is not on a neutral or player controlled point. That is him. It's only going to be him. So the closest to the base, which is him, that's the base over there. Or then we would go in reading order. You don't have to do that. And he is going to move towards the nearest control point the AI does not control. And it will prioritize victory points, and then it will go in reading order. So he has 3 cubes. Now the yellow guys also have the free speed move. So to indicate that he's going to use that, we will put the die out there. So he will move towards the closest control point. The nearest control point does not control, and priorities are victory points and then reading order. So the closest thing is this one. If this if there were a victory point tile here and they were equidistant, then he'd choose the victory point tile, but he's not going to do that. He will just move. He'll use his free dice to move there, and then he'll use 1 command point to move there, and then he will control that. And we'll put that there to indicate that he's already used, or if he stays there. Then, oh, sorry, you guys can't see that. I'm getting really bad about that. So this is a control point here. It is a green fuel. He gets a free move because all of the yellow units for the AI have speed. and he used one control point to move the second here, and so he will stay here. He will stay there essentially. Now we go to the blue. There is no blue units out there, and then finally we go to the green, which is the star, which I believe is our favorite green victory point. So we go to a green unit, not on a control point. That's both of them. Closest to the victory point. That's both of them. Reading order. That's going to be this one. He's going to move. So there's two left because I only spent one command point up here. So he's going to spend one command point and he will move in here. And then that's it. He will stay there. So that the AI only spent 2 command points that turn. Still didn't see that. He moved from here to here with 1 command point, and he's occupying this victory point marker now. So that makes up that turn for him. Now it's back to me, and I have 3 more command points. Now what do I want to do? I think what I'm going to do is spend them all on this Willie's Jeep. I'm going to use its first free movement. So it'll move up to here. And then I will spend 1 to move here, 1 to move here, and 1 to move here. So it's going to be right up here. And then all 3 will be there. I think that'll be good for now. I don't have to be because that's all I can do. Now it's back to them, or back to the AI. Danger close. So there's no blue, but there is a green, and it is the star. So we'll put that out there. Green victory point marker. Again, closest to a victory point. And that's going to be the one that's not on the victory point. And it will move towards an AI-controlled victory point or a reading order. So let's switch back over here. So that's going to be... so this guy is on a victory point, so it's not him. It's going to be him. He's closest to a victory point. He will move towards the closest AI victory point, but it's already occupied. So he's going to move towards this one. So what he'll do is he'll move over here by 1. Actually, he has 3. He'll move 3. So he'll go 1, 2, 3. He'll move there, and he'll have all 3 of those cubes there. Trying to rush that point. Now, it's back to me for my final 3 cubes, and I'm going to spend them all on these guys right here, and we'll go 1, 2, 3 to capture that point. Still outside of 2 range, so I don't flip him yet. And that's it for my turn. And then we go back to another turn for the AI. And we'll flip a card here, and it is Cavalry Assault. The yellow will move, so we will switch that over to Yellow Assault. And that's there. So, one unrevealed yellow unit. That's that one. That's not revealed yet. The one that's closest to an enemy unit, if there are more than one. But it's only that one. So we don't have to go to the priorities. And then we choose moves to the nearest enemy unit. And it will choose the enemy closest to a victory point. And then it'll go in reading order. So, this guy, who can move 2 more, will move towards the closest enemy unit, which is this one. So he will move 1, 2. And he will take his two control points with him, as well as his speed, and he's not going to worry about capturing that because it didn't say that he was going to. So that's not looking good for them. That's we'll see. I need to get that other Willies up there, or maybe get those infantry into that building. That's what I probably should do. Okay. So now that that's done, we move on to the damage phase. So that was all 3 rounds, 9 control points. So those can all come off here now. Pull all these back. All right. We go on to the damage phase. There is no attacking that's going to be happening here, so we can skip that. Then we go to the supply phase. Capture control points. All right, so we got 1 red here on the victory point, and we have 1 red here on this victory point, and no other captured point. Oh, yep, 1 blue here for this guy. So he's captured that. Now, when he captures that, does he reveal himself? Let's find out. It does not look like it. Whether they are revealed or not. So he still captures it. He does not reveal himself. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 points. They have 1 point so far. I guess it's kind of easy so far, but I need to get a bunch of I need to get a bunch of victory. I need to control that. Probably just leave that one and move all my guys over here to the middle. But I'm going to have to take all 3. I'm going to have to. In order to get 10 victory points? Maybe not. So if I get 2 more victory points, so I'm going to get 2 victory points at this round. So I'd have 5 more rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could still do it. If I just hold those 2, I could do it. I could get 10 victory points before. So I guess it is kind of easy. I wasn't thinking. Okay, so anyways, I'm mumbling again. So we capture the control points. Now we adjust the incomes. So I'll just slide my board back over here. Adjusting the incomes. The only thing we captured were the 2 experience point. So that goes up to 2. And now we adjust stockpiles. So I'm getting 2 manpower. That puts me up to 4. I'm getting 1 munition. That puts me up to 6. I'm getting 2 fuel. That puts me up to 4. And I'm getting 2 victory points. That puts me up to 2. I collected stockpiles. And now I'm going to go back to purchasing units and upgrading. I probably should have flipped that when I did that last turn, so you guys could see what that was all about. But I probably need a mortar team, or I could flip my second command post, my building over. Or I could upgrade my guys. That's what I need to do, I think, is upgrade my infantry. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend 4 munitions. Puts me down to 2. I'll flip this over here. I'm spending 4 munitions right here. And I'm going to add a second infantry attack to these guys right here. So I'll take another one of these white status dies, and I'll add that right there to indicate they have a second anti-infantry attack. Now I could also put another unit out there, which I might want to do. I might want to put a mortar team out there. I think I'm going to. I'm going to spend 4 to put a mortar team. Spawn them right there. Let me grab some guys here. And a mortar team is only 3 guys, but it also has a mortar mini. I just gotta find it here. That's a machine gun. That's a mortar. So I've got 3 infantry guys in here. These trays are very nice. They hold all the units, and then I also have a mortar in there as well. Alright. Here. You guys can see that a little bit better over here. So there's the tray with the 3 infantry and the mortar. I will spawn those guys there. And that cost me just the 4 manpower. They also spawned non-deployed, which means I gotta put one of these dice out here on them to indicate they are not deployed. So that was all of my phase. Now the the feeble commander. So we're on round 2 currently, is going to spawn 1 blue. You can see that a little bit better that way. 1 blue. And we'll take the blue and he'll spawn right there. And now we got ourselves a little skirmish. And now we are back to the round sequence. So, maneuver phase. Start off with 3 units there. I'm going to spend 1 to go into this building with these guys. And that infant instantly flips these. So let's come over here. So these first guys are what some people would call Panzer Grenadiers. But we don't call them that. You see they have 5 health. They have a range of 2. And they do 2 infantry damage. And there's also this symbol up here that's basically when they are revealed, something happens. So, reveal actions. They get a free attack, maybe? Let's see here. Where's the reveal actions? The player unit that revealed it suffers the effects of the reveal action. Yep. So they get a free attack against me. And that's infantry against infantry. So that's what that symbol means. It's a free anti-infantry attack, essentially, as soon as it's revealed. Normally, we'll look at our attack matrix here. Normally, a green unit getting anti-infantry automatically eats it. But I'm in a building, And so I get 2 defense rolls. So we'll come back here, and I will grab 2 of the dice here. So it's a good thing that I went into that building, but now I've got to figure out defense rolls. All right, so the reds, they're still failures, but if it's non-red dice face, I successfully block. So I get 2 defense rolls against the 1 incoming attack. So that's a black one and a green one. So I successfully block 2 damages that would be incoming, but there was only 1, so I blocked both of them. And now this guy's out here. He was there. Now we have the 222 armored car. And this says, first, when he's revealed, that unit gets pinned. So, I'll grab another dice. That means that unit, or no, he would be pinned, but he's in a building, so he can't be pinned. Units in buildings cannot be pinned. So, it's a good thing I went in that building. Otherwise, I would be pinned. It's a light vehicle with 3 health, has a range of 2, and does 2 anti-infantry points of damage. Oh, he controls that. He would have controlled that at the end of the round. Now, I still have 2 points. I still have 2 points. I don't want to waste that Willie's Jeep, but well, unless those things are going to move, but He can repair, though. He can repair at the end of the... If he's still there. I need to get my other guys up there, I think. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Because he's still only doing 1. Alright, so we'll goo this guy. Free move there. Then 1 and the other 2 to get him there. So he's there. So that's my 3 command points for the first round. Now we will go to the AI for their first turn. Sorry, not round. So they do have green units. So we will flip over the castle green unit card. And it is green defensive. And what this does is green unit closest to unoccupied building. That's going to be that one. Because this one's occupied, so it can't be this one. And he's 3 away from this one. And he's 3 away from that one. And he's 3 away from that one. So it's going to be this one. He will move towards into the nearest occupied building. And if there were priorities that had to come into place, if there were 2 buildings that were equidistant, then we would do the building closest to the victory point first, but we're not. He's just going to move into this building. And it's going to cost him 2 to get in there. So he has 2. And, oh, sorry. This building was 2, he was here. So this building's 2 away. This is the other green unit. This is occupied, so he can't move in there. This one's 3. That one's 1, 2, 3. And that one's 1, 2, 3. So it had to be this one. He moved into there. And that finishes his turn. And it's back to me for 3 more command points. I don't want to move those guys. I don't want to move the Willies. I do think I want to move this mortar team, though. And I think what I want to do is go 1, 2, 3 with the mortar team to move them there. And that'll be those 3. So now I'm going to go back to the AI. Oh, wait. Reverse that. We had other maneuvers to do there. Let's flip this guy back here. Okay, so the green went. Now we got the blue. We do have a blue guy back there now, so we got to use him. And he is the blue barrage. The blue barrage. Priorities. Within 3 hexes of an enemy unit. Nope. Closest to the base. Yep, that's going to be that one. And he will move towards a hex that is 4 hexes away from the nearest enemy unit. The closest hex or the one in reading order. So, you can move 3. Or no, he can only move 1, because I spent 2 for this one. So he'll move 1 here, and he'll spend 1. Oops, can't see that. Urgh. He moved 1 here with the last 3rd remaining cube, because we spent 2 to get the green guy over here. And then we have no cubes we have no cubes left of the 3 to finish for the yellow guy, so nothing happens. So then we go back to me. I'm still going to move my mortar guys up to 3 where they were before, and then we switch back to the AI again. He has 3 more. Danger close. So, wait. Yeah. Yep. Wait a minute. Yeah. So that's the same one, Blue Barrage. He has 3 things. So it's the same thing. He's going to move within 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He actually is within 4. So he's not 4 hexes away from the nearest enemy. Yep, that's where he's at. He's not going to move anymore. So he's here. And he's 1, 2, 3, 4. Nearest enemy. He's not going to move. So then the next one in the list is the green control point. Green victory point. So that's going to be the closest unit not in a control point, and it'll goes to the closest to the victory point. That'll be closest to victory point, not on a control point. If I'm reading this correctly, which I'm probably not, or maybe there's errata to fix it. Green unit not on a control point. Neither of these guys, the green unit, neither of them are on control points. Closest to a victory point. 1, 2, 1, 2. Reading order. That's going to be this one. He will move towards the close. Sorry. This guy and this guy, green. They're equidistant to this control point. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we go reading order, which means it'll be top to bottom, left to right, and it's going to come to this one first. So that means he will move towards the nearest victory point, and he will prioritize AI-controlled victory point. So he'll move here. And he only has 1 left, because he already has 2 on him. So he'll move 1 here, And that'll give him his third order. And then last, we have 2 more points we can spend on the yellow. The yellow sword is the yellow assault. And it says unrevealed yellow unit. That's none of them. So it doesn't, nothing happens. Now, we're back to my last 3. I think I'm going to use the Willys Jeep for free movement here. 1, 2, 3. So I can capture that point. Yep. And then the final turn for the AI. Recon and force. So we'll do a yellow control point. There's the instruction card. Yellow unit that is not on a neutral or player controlled point. So that's going to be the yellow car there, the armored car that's revealed right here. If there were multiples, it would be the closest to the base. Then we would go reading order. And he's going to move towards the nearest control point the AI does not control. That's going to be, so it's 1, 2 to this one, and it's 1, 2, 3 to this one, and it's 1, 2, 3 to that one. So he's probably going to go here. And he would prioritize victory points, but there's not equidistant, so he will move 2. Well, free. He would get his free move. He'd move 1. Plus his free move to there. Sorry. He was here. He'd move his free move here, and then 1 control point to move there. Now that the yellow control point is done, the next one on the list is the blue barrage again. A blue unit within 3 hexes of an enemy unit. Closest to the base. There's only 1. And he'll move toward a hex that is 4 hexes away from the nearest enemy unit. He's already in that, so he doesn't move. And then the last one is another green control point marker. A green unit not on a control point. It cannot be this one, because he already has 3 command points on him. It has to be this one. And it will move towards the nearest victory point. It is 2 away from this one, 1, 2, 3 away from that one. It will prioritize AI-controlled victory points. So it's just going to move. It's just going to move back there. This doesn't... 1, 2. I don't know if I'm reading this properly. Sorry. He was here. he moved 1, 2 here, two control points to get back to that victory point. It doesn't say, it just says nearest victory point. It doesn't say nearest uncontrolled victory point or anything like that. So I guess it just moves back. It just doesn't make sense. So I would think it would try to, I don't know. It also moved outside of 2. So it moved 2 outside of my view. So they both get flipped over. And when they get flipped, if there was any damage, they would remove that damage. They heal. These guys get flipped back as well. Actually, I need to look to see if that takes place immediately or if it waits till the end of the round. It might wait till the end of the round. Let's see here. Nope, as soon as it's no longer visible, it heals completely and flips back over. If it had any damage, which it doesn't. So that was the end of their turn. And now we are on to damage phase. So blue units, go ahead and attack. 4 hexes away. Always have a range of 4. The blue AI units may attack any unit in their 4 range. It is revealed and remains revealed until the end of the damage phase. So we will reveal this guy. All right, so we're in the damage phase. So we'll pull all these cubes back. Get those out of the way. Now we reveal it. And we see that it is the veteran mortar team. There is no, you notice there is no flip symbol over here, so nothing happens. It has 3 life. It cannot hit adjacent, but it can hit 4 away, and it will do 2 high explosive attacks. So it was back here. So it is back here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 away from this. So it will do 2 HE attacks. And we need to go to see how to do rolling for high explosive damage. So each HE die assigned to a target is rolled by the attacker to determine how much damage it causes. If it's red, it causes 0 damage. If it's black, it causes 1 damage. If it's green, it causes 2 damage. So we're doing 2 attacks, 2 HE damage to that unit in the building. So we'll roll here. So that is a green and a black. So we're doing 3 damage at this point, 3 HE damage to this unit here. That unit is inside cover. We will go to our chart here, and we will see that a high explosive to a green infantry, they're just going to eat all of it. But he's in a building, so he gets 2 defensive rolls. what I rolled. So that's a red, and that's a miss, but that's a block, so that blocks one hit. But I still have, so the red's a miss. Those two cancel each other, but I have one green, which does 2 damage to that unit. So what I'll do is I'll take 2 of these guys off of here. Two soldiers down. And now we have the building that also takes damage. Buildings have 4 health. So it took 2 damage. So we'll take some damage cubes here. And we will put 2 orange damage cubes on that building. So it can take 2 more before it's destroyed. If my guys are still in there, then they will instantly be killed as well, which I don't want to happen. So I'm probably going to move them out of the way. So that was the damage phase. Got to see how that worked. Now we go on to the supply phase. So we capture control points. These guys will capture this control point here, and I will capture this control point here, and that's it. Adjust incomes. I'm not going to show this on the screen again. You guys kind of saw how it works, but basically I am getting 1 up on the ammunition is what I gained. The AI doesn't make any changes. And so then I adjust stockpiles. So I'm going to get 2 manpower. I'm going to get 2 more ammunition, 2 more fuel, and 2 more victory points. So I'm at 4 victory points. I have 6 fuel. I have 4 munitions. And I have 2 manpower. And now I get to upgrade purchase units. I'm wondering if I should. Can't put any guys out there though. That's the problem. What I'll do, just to do this. So this is building card number 2. I'm going to spend 1 manpower and 3 fuel to flip this over, and this is what it's going to be. So I spend 1 manpower and 3 fuel, and now I have access to a 50 cal machine gun team, a anti-tank gun, and an M8 Greyhound. I can't build any of them because I don't have enough manpower. So I need to take that thing out. What's the easiest thing for me to? I mean, there's only 2. Okay. Can I upgrade? I can. I can upgrade. Give my mortar team 1 more speed for 4, or I can upgrade my other infantry unit way back there, but I don't think that's going to matter. What I'm going to need to do is pull them out of that building, I think, and just move them back here. mortar teams and machine gunners. Who is it that can't? Sorry, I'm off on a tangent now, but I know there are certain types that cannot go into buildings, and I'm pretty sure it's mortar teams, machine guns, and anti-tank. But let me just double check that while I'm thinking about it. Building cover, buildings blocking attacks. It's got to be under maneuvering. Got to be under maneuvering. Oh, no, machine gun teams can enter. It's the anti-tank and the mortar guys that can't enter a building. So... they'll heal one. I'm just trying to plan my strategy to see if I wanted to upgrade these mortar guys for high explosives. For an extra movement. I think I'm going to save it. I think I'm going to save it for right now. Yep, I'm going to save it. I'm not going to upgrade. I can't really purchase anything. Okay, so then the Feeble Commander, I'm not going to show this. I'm just going to try to speed this up a little bit. Next round, he spawns a yellow and a green. So we'll go... Oh, he flips back over. And we got a yellow and a green. And the yellow spawns first. So it'll be there, and then green will go there. And then... this is going to be the end of the supply phase, which means the Willie's Jeep heal takes effect to adjacent guys. So I get one of my infantry back, heals them up one, and that's that. Now we're back onto the maneuver phase. So back to me for 3. I'm gonna move those 3 guys. These infantry guys are going to come down here. They'll go 1, 2, 3. Get out of that building. All right. So then we go back to the AI. And we got Tactical Advance. And it's going to be the green control point card. It'll be green unit that is not on a player controlled or neutral, and it'll be the closest to the base, so it's going to be the one that's way back there at the base. And they will move towards the nearest control point AI does not control and has no units on. So it's going to be this one, and it will move 3. Oops, sorry. It's going to be this one. It will move 3, but it can't. Oh yeah, it can. It can go 1, 2, 3, and it'll have all 3 of its cubes there. You can move through friendly units, but you cannot end a space in a friendly unit. You cannot move through enemy units, obviously. Now it's back to me. Or no. Or yes, it is, because I spent all 3 cubes on the green guy. So the yellow guy can't move, and the blue guy can't move. So now, I will, what am I going to do? I'm going to leave that Willie's there, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going to move it. No, I'm going to leave it there. What I'm going to do is move my Jeep here. He's going to use his free move. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. So I'll have 2 there. So he can control that. And I got 1 more left to move. I'll use it to move this guy right over here so he can heal that these guys up 1. And then it's back to the AI. So we go to another card. General Advance. And we have a green victory point. Green unit not on a control point. So we have 3 green units. 1's on a control point, but these 2 are not. Closest to a victory point. This one is closest to a victory point. And he will move towards the nearest victory point. He will prioritize an AI-controlled victory point. He's already there. So he won't move? If I'm reading that properly, he's already close. This is the victory point. He's already close to it. And it's AI. He'll prioritize the AI-controlled one if they were equidistant, but it's the only one right there. So he just stays there? Maybe he moves. We'll say he moves 1. No, I don't want to do that. That's me making assumptions. He doesn't move. He's already close to it, so that's that. Back to the card. Next one is yellow. And it is the yellow assault, I think. Yep, yellow assault. We have a unrevealed yellow unit. That is, we have 2 of them. 1 there and 1 back there. We prioritize the one closest to an enemy unit. So it's going to be that one right there because he's closest to my guys. And he will move to the nearest enemy unit. And he will prioritize, the closest enemy unit is going to be the Willie's Jeep. Because he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Oh, no, okay. So these 2 guys are equidistant. So the priority is the enemy closest to a victory point. That's going to be the Willie's Jeep. So he's yellow, so he gets his free move. His free speed. So he'll use that to go there. And then he has 3 more. And he will go 1, 2, 3. There, and he will flip. And it's that same armored car from before. And the thing that caused it to flip gets pinned. So that's the Willie's Jeep. So we will put a pinned status marker on the Willie's Jeep. Now it's back to me. Well, technically not. The blue would go, but he used all 3 of his all 3 of his cubes to move that yellow armor car up there. So the blue doesn't get to go. Now I have my 3 guys left. So he's yellow. He gets rerolls. So he's pinned. He can't move. That's right. But those guys can attack that thing, I think. Infantry, anti-infantry. What I need to do is move my armor guys up there. Yep. That's what I'll do. So we'll do 1, 2. Move my armor guys up here. and then I'll spend my third one to deploy them. So I'll change that not symbol over to a check mark. So now they're deployed. They're set up there with their, I gotta leave those there. They got the mortar deployed, and they're ready to lay waste to everything. Alright, so the last turn for the AI, and it is a general advance. And we have another green victory point. And closest to the victory point is the same one. He doesn't move. It's the exact same thing. He just stays there. Does not move. Not on a control point. Closest to a victory. Not on a control. Oh, wait. Green unit not on a control point. The closest one to a victory point. It's the one in the back. It's the one right by that building. What is he going to do? He's going to move towards the nearest victory point. He's already there. He can't move into the victory point. He's already there. So he doesn't do anything. Oh, he doesn't do anything. Then we go to the yellow. It's a yellow assault. That's the same thing as before. Unrevealed yellow unit. That's going to be the one in the back. Closest, then he moves to the nearest enemy unit. And so he gets his free move, and then he gets three other moves. So, this one in the back will go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there with his 3 moves and his free move. And he's not inside of anything, so he doesn't move or anything like that. And that was all 3 moves, so the blue still doesn't go. And we are back to another damage round. So we'll pull all these cubes off. And now we deal some damage. Actually, I think I'm supposed to use... I think I just figured out what that indentation is. On these buildings is for these dice with pips instead of the damage markers. I like it. So that indicates that that building has 2 damage on it, or it's down to 2 damage, however you want to look at it. I'll say it has 2 damage. Otherwise, I would put dice on all these buildings. So, damage. And the way that's going to work is we checked for pinned units. There's 1 pinned unit, which is my Willie's Jeep, but there's no other machine gun guys out there that could potentially pin further units. Then we assign damage. So, I will assign damage first. I am going to assign, so these guys right here, my mortars, they will be doing high energy, high explosive damage. And we will assign that to this one. And then the Willie's Jeep there will be doing anti-infantry damage. And we will assign that to this one as well. And then my guys up here in the thing can shoot 2 away at range. And they will assign 2 anti-infantry damage. 1 for the default and then 1 for the extra upgrade they have. So the armored car here is taking, is going to be taking 2 damage, or 4 damage basically. What we will do is we will roll the high explosive to see what happens. I rolled a tank, so that's 1 damage. So that's 1 successful HE tank damage to that thing. He will roll defense dice, and he is an armored car, so he is yellow. He has 1 HE, so he can re-roll it. So that that hit, he can re-roll. He can defend against it because it's light, high explosives. He got green, which means he successfully defended it, so the HE does nothing. Now he's taking 3 infantry damage, and he gets to re-roll those as well. So he defended against all 3 of those because only the reds count as failures and where he takes it. So all those were blocked. Now he gets to assign 2 infantry damage, or anti-infantry attacks, I guess. And he does it in this order. So it's the anti-infantry. First, he tries to assign it to infantry. So he is 2 away. His range is 2, so he can hit here. So he will assign his 2 anti-infantry to these guys. And they are infantry getting a... They would normally just take it, but they are in a building that gives them 2 defense, so they can re-roll. So we got 1 failure and 1 success, so they take 1 damage. And then that is all of the attacking. We inflicted the damage. I did not do any damage to that thing, so I don't collect any experience. Oh, wait. The Willie's Jeep would not have attacked because it was pinned. So that would have been 1 less attack. It didn't matter because it didn't hit him, but 1 less. Now we move on to the supply phase. So we capture control points. I don't think anybody else has captured any. Oh, yeah, I got that one up there. So I get 1 more manpower, but other than that, I didn't capture anything. Now, adjust income. The only thing that went up is 1 more manpower for me. And then we adjust stockpiles. So that puts me at 4 for there, 6 for there, 5 for there, and 2 more victory points. So as long as I can hold that for 2 more rounds, I'll be okay. But I gotta blow up that car. Alright, so back to maneuver phase. My 3... Oh, end of round, now he's pinned. Does that supersede his ability to heal? Let's see. Maybe he can't heal. Heal, heal, heal. Reinforce. It was pinned. I know I saw it in here. I thought it was in the... Weapons teams, green units. Retreat pinned. Here we go. Or use abilities. Yep, so he does not heal because he is pinned, so he can heal my guy. I need to get... Alright. Now I can purchase unit upgrades. We're going to spawn way back here, though. Huh. Could buy an M8 Greyhound for 3. I'll do that. For 3 manpower and 2 fuel. Give me a Greyhound out here. Spawn way back here. And I'm going to spend 2 munitions to give it an HE attack. And then I'm going to spend 4 munitions to give these guys back here a tank attack, or a armor piercing attack. Alright. That's it. Now, back to maneuver phase. Alright, 3 guys. It's going to be these ones, 1, 2, 3. Then we'll move on to the AI. Tactical advance. And we're going to go for green control point. Green unit is not on a player controlled or neutral control point, so that will be either of these guys. Closest to the base. Oh, wait. Before we do that, this guy was supposed to spawn, so he moves up. Oh, we didn't draw that card. Okay, hold on. Back the pickup truck up. I forgot to do something. So this was here. It's now moving to here, and we're going to spawn a green and a blue, but it's also red, which means we draw from a different deck. And there's now 4 control points per turn. I'm still going to do the same thing, but we now have a green and a blue out here. So we'll do green there, and we'll do blue there. And now my 3, so he has 4 control points now to spend, or the AI does, but we're drawing from the tier 2 thing, or phase 2. And this is the pincher move. So it looks like we're just going to have 4. So they don't have any red units out there. But there's the red assault. He's going to spawn a red guy next turn. There's the red assault. That doesn't happen because there's no red guys. So now we go to yellow assault. And it's going to be the unrevealed yellow units. And we've got one right here. And it will move to the nearest unit. And it will, the nearest unit is, these are both, Again, these are both equidistant. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So he will move towards the closest to a victory point, which is the Willies. So he'll go 1, 2. And he gets a free move. So he's actually going to go 1. And then we'll get, of the 4, 1 will move there. He will flip. It's a veteran machine gun team 2. As soon as it is flipped, the one that flips it, which is going to be the Willys Jeep, is pinned. It's already pinned. It has 3 health. It gets 1 defense die roll. It has a range of 2. And it does 1 attack, but also it will pin anything in the firing arc. So it'll be like that. It'll be right there, actually. And it'll be facing him. Just like that. So we still have 3 black cubes left. So we go back here. And we're looking for the blue barrage. Again, blue unit within 3 hexes of an enemy unit. That's none of them. Closest to the base, there's one that's actually both of them. And reading order, so it's going to be the one. It's going to be the one in the back. So there's one there and one there. They're both, the base is where the green unit is, so they're both close. It's going to be the one in the back by reading order. It will move towards a hex that is 4 hexes away from the nearest enemy unit. So the nearest enemy unit is the Willys Jeep, I believe. So it'll move 3, and it'll go 1, 2, and it can't occupy the same hex, so it just stops there at 2. And then we have 1 left, and that'll be for the green. And it's the green control point. And it'll be a green unit that is not on a player-controlled or neutral control point, which is several of them. And the closest to the base, there's one actually on the base, so it'll be that one. And it will move towards the nearest control point the AI does not control and has no units on. So, this one, the nearest control point, is going to be 1, 2, that's right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be this one. So it'll move 1 towards there, which means it just moves up there. We put a cube on it there. So that's it for their first round. So now I have 3 more to go. I'm going to move this thing. It gets a free move because it's a yellow unit. So we will speedy it on to here for 1, and then we'll go 1, 2, 3. So it's all the way over here. Try to come across that bridge down there. And I think that's it. Back to the AI. Strategic priority. There's no reds, but there is a green, and that's the green victory point. Again, green unit not on a control point. That's several of them. It will be the one that's closest to a victory point, which is that one there. It will move towards the nearest victory point. It's right beside it, so it doesn't move. I think this is, unless I'm reading this incorrectly, I don't think So this one is the closest one to a victory point because the victory point's here. Um, it can't move toward closer to it. It's already there, so I don't think it moves. But I could be. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. Maybe there's a errata I need to find. But that's how I'm playing it right now. So then we go to the blue barrage, which is right there. Blue units, or one blue unit, or priority within 3 hexes of an enemy unit. That's none of them. Closest to the base, that's the one in the back. And it will move towards a hex that is 4 hexes away from the nearest enemy. That's all 4 of these. So it'll go. Nearest enemy is here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So it's going to move 4. It'll go 1, 2, 3, 3. Yep. And it took 3 to get it there. So we'll put 3 cubes there. And then it's within firing range. So then we come back here and we have one die or 1 cube left, and it would be for the yellow, which is the yellow control point. And the yellow control point says yellow unit that is not on a neutral or player controlled. So that'll actually be either of these guys. They're both, or no. No, he's green. He's yellow. No, he's yellow. He's yellow. Either of those guys. Closest to the base, so that's going to be the car. Right there. It will move towards the nearest control point that the AI does not control, and it will prioritize victory points. So it's going to move here. Onto that victory point to try to take it. So I got to stop it. Alright, so that finishes its turn. And now it's back to me with 3. The only thing I have left is that Jeep. I don't want to move those guys out of there. They're in cover. Sneaky, sneaky. I'm going to move that Jeep. I get a free move with that Jeep. It's going to be there. Then I'm going to go there. Now I've got line of sight to that guy. Nice. Okay, and then they get one last. He gets one last turn. We're going to do the green control point. Sorry, green victory point again. Not green unit not on a control point, and the closest one to a victory point is the one that's right there. I feel like this card is. I don't know. Maybe I'm not doing something right. Maybe I'll ask. I'll probably take a picture of this and post it on the Geek and see what they say, or send it to Bad Crow Game. I think Bad Crow Game's right. What's the name of the manufacturer, right? Or developer? I don't know. I can't see. Just see what they say, because I don't think anything happens at this point, because it's still that same situation where that green infantry unit is right next to the control point or the victory point. So then we move on to the blue barrage, and it's going to be the one in the back. It's going to be the one in the back. It's already moved 2, and it can't move It can't move 1 more because they can only move up to 3. So then we go on to the red. There is no red yet. And then we go to the yellow, which is the yellow assault. Unrevealed yellow unit. There are none out there. They're both revealed, and they're right there in the middle. So nothing happens with that one. So that's the end of that. They didn't use anything there. And now I am on to the attacking phase. Check for pinned units. This machine gun would pin anything it can see in its firing arc. So its firing arc is going to be, so it's facing here, it's looking at this Willys Jeep. Its firing arc is going to be out of that hex like that, and then also out of that hex like that, and it's going to be 2 hexes away, because that's all it can see, unless it gets spotted. So it could be 3 hexes away. So it could be 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, or 3, like this arc out here. Which it could, this is already pinned, so otherwise it would pin this. But these guys can't be pinned because they're in a building. Assign damage. All right, so I'll assign damage first. The Willys Jeep. I need more dice here. This Willys Jeep back here is going to assign 1 infantry attack onto this car. These guys are going to assign a mortar, a high explosive attack on that car. Oh wait, it moved, so this is no longer pinned. Oh, it is because of that. Or do they only pin infantry? Do they pin everything? Nope, they only pin infantry. And this moved, so it becomes unpinned. These guys only have a range of 2. They can't hit that thing yet. This guy can hit either one of these. I need to kill that, basically. So that thing's going to attack there, or that Willys Jeep is going to attack there with an infantry on this one. These guys can attack there with 2 infantry. 1 for the normal, 1 for their upgrade. All going there. And that is a yellow. So let's hope we do some damage. And then, so the yellow guy, he does 2 infantry attacks, so he will try to attack the closest to a victory point. They're both close. The lowest health, it's going to be these guys. So I'll show you what I'm looking at here. I'm doing their target selection. So he's doing 2. That armored car there that has all the dice on it right now. He's doing 2 anti-infantry attacks. That's what his attack is. So we look at here, and he attacks infantry first. So we have 2 infantry in range of his 2, which is 1 here and 1 up here. So then we go to the priority. So we go closest to the victory point. This is 1-2 away from the victory point. This guy's 1-2 away from the victory point. So then we go to the next priority, which is lowest health. This guy has 3 health. This guy only has 2 health. So he will attack 2 up here on these guys. This guy gets 1 infantry attack, anti-infantry attack. Same deal. He will target up here because he tries to target infantry first. And then these guys will get an attack. And it's a veteran mortar team. And they get 2 high explosives attacks. And they will target emplacements first, which there are none, and then infantry. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they will do 2 high explosives here. Man, it's getting rough. I'll just set those aside there for a minute. All right, so first, let's resolve this. High explosive attack that I'm doing for my mortar team. Come on, guys. Double hit. Give me a green. It's a red. It's another miss. So he has 4 infantry, which he gets to roll against. 4 infantry attacks, which he gets to defend against, because light vehicles can make defense rolls against those infantries. So he is successful at blocking 3 of them, but there's 1 red, so he takes 1 wound. Now, we'll resolve these up here. I'm sorry. We'll resolve all these hits up here. There are 3 infantry attacks, 2 high explosives. There's 3 of the infantry, 2 of the high explosives. Let's roll the high explosives to see what they do. 1 black, 1 red, which is a miss, so there's 1 damage. So I'm taking 4 damage right now, but I'm in a building, so I can re-roll 2 of those. And high explosives. Nope, I just take the high explosives. So I'm taking 2, so it's going to be enough to kill me, but we'll see if I can block any of it. So I blocked 1, and then 1 still came through. So I'm taking 3 damage, and that's enough to kill these guys. The high explosive does 1 point of damage to the building. So those guys are dead. And this thing is taking 1 damage. Sorry, those guys are gone. And this thing is taking 1 damage. That guy is finally taking a damage. And then that's the damage phase. I did damage it, so I do get 1 experience point, though. I didn't destroy any units. Even if I did, I don't get victory points for against the AI. So now we capture control points. So this changes to blue. No, nothing else got captured. Adjust incomes. So I went down on 1 victory point. Then I gain 3 of these. Puts me at 4. 2 munitions. 2 fuels. And 1 victory point. So if I can hold on to at least that one for 2 more rounds, I'll be okay, which will win me the game. I think I'm actually gonna stop here because I think I basically won this. So I've got 7 victory points right now. Well, wait, no. Actually, I don't. I do have 7 victory points, but I need 10. That's going to spawn there. So I'll get 1 more. Then I'll get 2. So, no, I've got to retake that, or I'm not. Basically, if I don't retake this, I am going to stop here because it's getting a little long in the tooth. But if I don't retake this, I'm not going to win. I don't have enough rounds. This is a fun little game. I'm not sure about the solo. I'm not sure about all that. I mean, that helped me because it stopped things from coming in here. I needed something here to deal with these guys. I needed armor piercing, basically, or somebody with flamethrowers, which nobody has. So these guys will probably do some real damage there. But I am gonna pause. I'm gonna stop right now. Just because, how long has this been? 2 hours and 30 minutes already. You guys get an idea of how the game plays, at least. It is fun. I think I'm gonna like playing against another player versus the AI at this point. I can see this being a lot of fun with playing against other players or even teams. This is only 2, so this is a medium-sized map. They have large maps where you put 4 of these together, which was just going to be ridiculous. Or maybe 3. Maybe it's 3 together. It makes a large map. I don't know. Anyways, that's how the solo works, or co-op. If I had another player here with me, we could play on the same team against one of the AI. But yeah, so that's the game in a nutshell. We didn't really get into the tank movement. So like tanks spend, if you're using the advanced rules, tanks will spend a control point. So when they spend a control point for movement, they can do one of 3 things. Let's get a Sherman out here. So say we have a tank here. First, they've got to face a flat hex side. This is their and then that's their front arc, just like with the mortars. So like their firing arc is going to be there and there. So anything that's going to be in the front. When they move, when they spend a control point, they can do 3 things. 1, they can spend a control point and just rotate one hex face and then do nothing. They can move either forward or back or forward, and then rotate 1 hex face for free. Or they can rotate 1 hex face first and then move either forward or back. So that's how their movement works. They will have turreted attacks, so the turret can hit in 360 degrees versus non-turreted attacks, which are just in that front forward arc. And that's pretty much it. I definitely have questions about that this scenario, that maybe that just happened perfectly so that thing never that green guy never moves and it just nullified that card. But maybe I'm reading it wrong. I don't know. Either way, I think it's a fun game. I'm not sold on the solo yet. I think I'd rather. The card system is nice. It's I mean, it tells you exactly what to do. There is a little confusion, but I think with this game will really shine with playing against other people because I mean, there's just so much that it could spread out here and cover and all that. It just this looks like this. I think this is going to be a more advanced version of Memoir. This is going to add, or this does. It does. It adds the more advanced wargaming rules into Memoir 44. Um, fire arcs and uh, movements for the heavy vehicles in terms of not just being able to move at wherever they want, like turn and so forth and so on. The different status effects, being pinned, mortar team or the specialized weapons teams having to set up and or set up to in order to fire or pick up other stuff in order to move again. Um, that type of stuff. I do like the combat system. I like how it's not. Um, the HE is nice, where you're rolling to see how much damage it actually does. You basically have a 60% chance essentially that you're gonna hit something, or well, it's probably like close to 65, 70% chance you're gonna hit something with it. Um, I like the defense against depending on what kind of damage you're taking. You can potentially defend against it, and you have a 60 to 70% chance that you are going to defend against it. So, um, yeah, there's a lot of other things like this. There's smoke and additional sight, so you can see farther than two spaces or two hexes away. Um, I think there's a Russian sniper who has camouflage, so you basically can't hit him unless he's revealed, and the only way you can do that is be next to him. So he can probably wreak some havoc. Um, there's all kinds of other special abilities. Some units can transport uh, infantry, that type of thing. Um, we didn't do any emplacements. I didn't build any sandbags or anything like that I could have with the. I believe I could have done that with the guys that have the wrenches. Yeah. So the infantry guys have the repair ability, but they could use that to build sandbags, razor wire, tank traps, etc. Maybe I should have built a tank trap here where nothing could have moved into it. It would have caused him to have to blow this guy up to get in there. It could have been something that could have done. Um, I like the economy, the way of holding. There's not just there's not just control points that you're trying to control for victory points. You also have the control points that are going to give you fuel and manpower, and it's not just like 3 points on the map that you're completely vying for control over. You want to spread out, and you're not just going to be centered on this side of the map or that side of the map, depending on where the victory point markers are. Um, I like that. It's going to allow you to spread out more. I really didn't use the commander card because I didn't have any experience because I didn't kill anything, but I feel like that's going to come into play more, make things more unique. I didn't upgrade any of my guys with experience because I didn't have any, but uh, I didn't build my third building one. I mean, there's probably like 2 or 3 more turns left in the game, but I still don't think I would have built that. But yeah, so that's Company of Heroes solo run through, almost a run through. Basically, you saw how the rules work, how the AI works. Should give you a good idea of whether you would want to purchase the game for solo play. I don't think it's the strong suit of this game. I think it's going to really shine when you have somebody on the other side of the table making uh, informed or what they think is informed decisions. But solo's not terrible, I guess. I'm probably not going to play it solo. I'll probably want to break this out with a team, uh, four of us or two of us to play. So, yeah. So that's Company of Heroes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.